Hi, I'm Peter Birch, and today let's talk about picking the right type of animal that suits us. And when I talk about us, I mean you guys. What type of reptile suits you the most? Now, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for finding me. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification button to continue to join the adventure. For everyone else, let's find out what type of reptile suits you. Today we're going to discuss what makes a suitable reptile for me. In other words, for you guys at home. So there's so many different things we need to think about. Now, for me, there's a few key basics. You know, what type of animal suits the type of life that I live? Do I want to handle the animal regularly? Do I just want an animal to look at? Does it need to be impressive? Does it need to be cool? But the most important things, guys, is that these are living animals. They live long periods of time, and we've got to take all these other things into consideration when we're keeping these animals, because like I said, they do live long periods of time. Now, for instance, blue tongue lizards. Now, blue tongue lizards, here he is. So blue tongue lizards, you know, these guys, particular guys that I've got here, these are just normal eastern blue tongue lizards. Now, for the rest of the world, they're going to go crazy over this, but here in Australia, we consider them as a beginner sort of animal. Now, they're quite easy to keep, they're robust, they're very sturdy, very strong animals, which means basically you don't need to get the temperatures right on, we don't need to keep the humidity spot on. They do have a bit of tolerance, and they take a little bit of give and take, basically they will. And these guys are great animals because, you know, they're easy to handle, they're big, they're strong, robust animals. You know, they can eat on a variety of foods, they can eat fresh fruit, they like things like soft canned cat food and dog food, if you like. They'll also eat the dry kibble stuff, but if you really want to give them a great nutritious diet, fresh fruit, vegetables mixed in with fresh meat and some calcium multivitamin powders just to spice it up and give it the little bit extra. Now these guys here are sitting at about 25 to 26 years old, and they're still going strong. And in fact, Charlie that's in there, she's 27, and she dropped some babies this year, which is pretty cool. Not bad going for an old tiger like that. And not only that, you can keep them in a variety of enclosures. So outside I keep them in these outdoor pits, which are basically a copycat version of Joe Ball's magnificent enclosures. So basically I've got an exposed area here where they can come out and bask during the day, and they can go and hide during the night, with the extra little beauty that I've put in there, which was the habitat heater from ZoomEd, because the old guys, I just have this little bit of a soft spot for them, so I didn't want them to freeze too much in winter this year. I've given them the heat pad, and they've absolutely enjoyed it, getting underneath and on top of it, just like you see Buffhead there, absolutely loving it. So I guess when we're talking about caging, we've got so many things that we can talk about. We can talk about inside cages, outside cages that we just talked about with Charlie and Buffhead, a couple of blue tongues out there. This is where I keep a couple of shinglebacks and some baby blotchies inside in these indoor pits. It does the job well. There's no right or wrong answer, so basically you can do whatever you can to make them have a great long life. Now, you know, you can use those cages, or you can have pretty cool cages just like these guys. These are exoterra cages, and these are for my pygmy monitors basically. So with the pygmy monitors, just like the big monitors, you know, they do have claws, they do have teeth, but it's not too scary, I guess. And I really don't think that they're an appropriate animal to be handled on a regular basis. Great animals for good enclosures to set up. Absolutely spectacular animals to watch. They have got some absolute great little things that they do. They've got little personalities that absolutely blow you out of the water, because these guys have got, you know, sometimes they can be absolute savages just like the big guys. So they're absolutely cool, cute little animals. So, and with these monitors inside, unlike blue tongues, you know, blue tongues can be just kept on a heat source. They do require some form of UV light. Not a great source, obviously, but it can be supplemented through diet, which we've proven over the years. Now, with things with monitors and dragons in captivity, they do need access to UV lights. They do need, in particular for monitors, they do need access to high amounts of temperature. And as we've spoken before, these guys are sitting at about 55 degrees under the hot spot. Ouch! It's a little bit hot and crusty under there, but that's what they need. They need those hot temperatures that keeps these guys motivated and keeps them going. And you know, you can see already, like, these guys are settling in really well. They've already started digging their own little burrows here in the sand. You know, these guys are absolutely amazing to watch. What they're doing is pretty cool. Giving them the opportunities to show naturalistic behavior is a very important thing. So now, we're going to talk about monitors and dragons. You know, they really need UV light, they need high amounts of temperature, they need calcium powders, they need multivitamin powders, they need their food, they like live insects. So live insects can be a little bit difficult at times to get hold of, but you need a really good source of live insects. Now with the monitors, they will also be able to supplement their diet with chopped up food. And chopped up, I mean you can chop up pinkies. Obviously as the monitors get bigger, you can chop up the food items or just offer them whole body food items. Now the big monitors are quite easy and adept to eating large, full-bodied animals by themselves. Now, if you're thinking about getting some of these other cool like geckos, you know, like things like geckos, like this guy here, you know, they're absolutely great to look at. I don't recommend them for handling because, you know, they can struggle a little bit, and geckos will lose their tail. Now they can regenerate their tail, but the problem there is, you know, aesthetically it looks a little bit different. But also it's a fat storage area, so you don't want to destroy that fat storage area. And they've got those fat storages for reasons, you know, to be able to reproduce for egg storage, fat, and you know, if times get tough, you know, knobtail geckos, another gorgeous gecko, probably not the best choice for animals to play with. Like I said, if you want babies or lizards to play with, bearded dragons are the number one. Blue tongues are also quite easy to keep, and like I said, temperatures aren't really a big thing, so they're quite sturdy, depending on the species, of course. And then, you know, we can move across the board. You know, if you're into pythons, you know, you can have the small pythons or the bigger pythons to work with, which we'll go into right now. Now, I guess for some of us, the absolute gorgeous pythons are these guys here. The albino Darwin carpets are absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful animals at the best of times. Now, if you're into a medium or a decent sized snake, then the carpet pythons is where you sort of go to, and there's a great variety of carpet pythons out there, come in all different shapes and colours and forms, and hopefully, you know, they're absolutely gorgeous and placid animals too. So it all comes down to handling and the way that you feed these guys and the way you treat them. Now I find in general, the way you treat animals is the way that they'll treat you in return. So if you're kind, nice, and you work with them really well, then they're going to treat you back very nice. And with any luck, you don't get any bites to the face. Now, if you're into the bigger snakes, now here in Australia we have a limited variety of the bigger snakes. So let me just put this guy back. So the biggest snakes that we talk about here in Australia typically are the snakes that exceed 2 meters. So, I mean, I know some of these carpet pythons can get to about 2.1, 2.2 meters, and we consider those to be quite big and scary snakes, but compared to the rest of the world, we've got really nothing here. And I'm just going to open this up, and here he is. So this is one of my buddies here. He's coming up for a shed. So these are olive pythons. So olive pythons can grow to 3.5 to 4 meters. They can get quite large indeed. This is just another one of those guys here. He's actually coming up for a shed, so I won't drag him out. But you know, some of these pythons, olive pythons, can get quite large. Now, you've seen previously that I've talked about my beautiful girl, which is this girl up here. This is Pippi. Pippi is, you know, an old snake, and she's quite a big snake as well. She's an absolute gorgeous animal, a great ambassador. I mean, we're not going to drag her out either and upset her too much, but we'll just show you the body. I mean, look at the body on that. That's a decent size girth of a body of a python for here in Australia. Now, like I said, these guys get to about 3.5 to 4 meters. Absolute gorgeous animals. And of course, we do get bigger snakes like the scrub pythons, Owen pellies, and a few other species, but it's really not for everyone to get their hands on. Now, the most important thing for big snakes is big enclosures, especially for olives and scrubbies. They really need that extra room to be able to stretch their lungs out, because their lungs being pushed and compressed all the time is going to end up with little patches inside the lung where it's going to get deposits of fluids, and it's going to cause all sorts of issues. So I recommend big snakes, big enclosures, lots of heat. You know, these guys need to be about 36 to 38 under the hot spot, and they need to be able to get away. These guys absolutely love the heat, love the water, and they love the room to move. So if taking that under consideration, let's go and check out some small snakes. Righto, here we are in the small snake room, and that's right, Dirt Snake King, that's me. And it's a bit crazy, I know, but The small snakes are absolutely gorgeous, and one of the coolest things now is they're coming in all sorts of colours. That's right, plenty of colours for the small snakes. So this is a children's python, a marble children's python, and this guy is fully grown, a full grown male. So you can see a nice small snake, small enclosures, and you can keep these guys in tub systems. You can keep them in, you know, in terrariums just like these guys here. You can keep them in all sorts of ways, but they need to be able to feel comfortable. So unlike the big snakes, these guys do prefer smaller areas. Now, they are a very tactile species, particularly the Antaresia, so therefore they like to get in the nice, tight, closed areas. And, you know, I've spent nearly my whole life working with these beautiful creatures, and what can I say, they're absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. I love the small snakes. Small, robust, easy, durable animals. Everybody should have one, if not two, and hey, why not go for 3? That's what I reckon. So I guess if you're thinking about working with large monitors, there's something you've got to be really cautious about. Number one, they're large monitors for a reason. They've got large, powerful jaws and big, damn sharp claws. So you've got to be very careful with that. The other thing is they do like a little bit of room. So unlike the small monitors that can be kept in small enclosures, big monitors need to be kept in bigger enclosures, just like this enclosure that I'm in right now. Now this is Oscar's cage. Now luckily enough, Oscar here is a fairly friendly, easygoing sort of lace monitor, and he's not too bad. He's a pretty good dude. In fact, he's very chill indeed. So like I said before, big powerful jaws, big powerful claws, and big enclosures with lots and lots of room is very important for these guys. So unless you're willing to do that and take a few scratches for the team, I don't think big monitors are the choice for you, because that's what Oscar and I recommend. So yeah, probably not the best idea to start off with large monitors if that's not your thing. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I know Oscar and I have enjoyed bringing it to you, and I hope you've learned something a little bit different and taken a little bit more on board. Now make sure you hit me up on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Until next time, Oscar here says see you later. Thanks for watching CrittaCam.